In this crypto security guide, we'll cover how to identify and fix your biggest vulnerabilities so you're less likely to be the victim of a hack or to lose funds on your own. There may be a time when you have a tremendous amount of new wealth. Let's not wait till that happens to figure out your security. Let's plan ahead and protect it now. Welcome to the newly upgraded DeFi Now studio. I'm Josh Cross, and if you like ad-free crypto content, make sure to subscribe down there with the bell notification. And as always, jump into the DeFi Now Discord for more conversations and giveaways. I know it's been a while since I uploaded a video, as all this gear took a while to set up and learn how to use, but the main reason is because I'm also working on a full beginner DeFi course that is taking most of my time. Now, I can't share much on it yet, but it is coming soon, so be sure to subscribe with the bell so you don't miss the announcement. Once the course is out, I'll link to it in the description and the pinned comment so that you can find it easily. In this video, we'll cover our own security, and then in that course, we'll also cover the aspects of security that you can't control, which is other people and tech, as well as a complete beginner's guide to using DeFi. Now let's get started. The first thing to focus on when it comes to security is common sense. Generally, if you keep all your software up to date, you physically back up your hard drives, you don't click on unexpected emails or links and messages, you learn the basics to avoid phishing attempts, you have a password manager that creates a long, randomly generated passwords, and you have solid antivirus and anti-malware software, you're already on the right track. Bitdefender is my go-to antivirus, but I've also heard good things about Malwarebytes. Now, for clarity, phishing is when somebody pretends to be official in order to bait you into giving up valuable information or access. You can avoid phishing attempts by bookmarking URLs that you use regularly, by being critical of spelling and grammar mistakes, avoiding links or attachments from unexpected emails and messages, and making sure your privacy settings don't allow anyone to add you to groups in Telegram or other apps. Oh, and make sure that you have a password to access each of your chat apps. Otherwise, someone can access your account through a SIM swap attack, which you can learn about in that course. Specifically in crypto, be extremely skeptical of anyone DMing you. Admins for any project in any group won't DM you first. Assume if an admin is DMing you, it's a scam, because it is. Also, I won't DM you first, and I really only use Telegram and Discord, so if someone is pretending to be me, you can kindly tell them to off. This is especially true on WhatsApp, Telegram, Twitter, or Discord. Scammers will often copy legitimate account, make a small change in the name from a capital O to a 0, or a lowercase l to an uppercase I, or something like that. Then what happens is when you send a question or a request in a group chat, they will DM you pretending to be an admin that's trying to help you, and they try to lead you into giving up your information or wallet access. You've got to assume the worst in these cases. The way I protect users in my Discord from this is by adding verify my profile to my profile name. Then when you click my profile, you can see that I've verified both my Twitter account and my YouTube channel, and there's links to them. Each platform has their own way of doing this, and they each have their own strengths and weaknesses, but none of them really solve the problem, so it's up to you to make sure that you stay safe. Now, the core of your digital identity and security is your primary email address. I recommend having one email account that serves as the backup for the rest of your email accounts. That makes it very unlikely to be leaked in a data breach because it's not in any other databases. It's also not good to have your name or any personally identifiable information in this email address. You can think of your favorite quote or poem, take the first letter of each word, and then make that your main email address. Personally, I recommend using ProtonMail because it has an excellent reputation for privacy, and I'm a big fan of theirs. Unlike Gmail, ProtonMail doesn't read your emails or collect your data. Their free version has the basic features that you would need for this, and they also have the best free VPN I've seen, which I'll get to later. While you can have one email for everything, I recommend diversifying. You can take this as far as you like, but I'd say have one email address for crypto accounts, one for banking, one for online shopping, one for other random internet accounts, one you give to people for communicating, etc. ProtonMail makes this super easy by allowing you to create a default primary email and then add other alias addresses for specific purposes under that one. Then all of your emails go into one account and you can activate or deactivate individual addresses at any time. It's awesome. Once you have your email set up, the next thing to do is to get a very good password manager. Now, I've been using Dashlane since 2015, and it's been great, so I've never had any reason to make the switch. That said, there are several other great choices you could look into. Bitwarden, 1Password, and LastPass are also good choices. I've heard good things about them. You'll need to have a very strong master password that gives you access to your password manager. This should be either randomly generated and then written on paper and locked away, or use a long passphrase instead that you will remember and will be hard for someone to guess. Something like, DeFi Now is the best channel ever for 2069 question mark. Don't use that one though. Once you get your password manager set up, make sure your email addresses all have randomly generated passwords as long as your password manager recommends. Since I don't have to manually type passwords, I generally make them as long as whatever website will allow. If you can take these steps with your emails and passwords, you have an excellent start to your security. On to hardware wallets. I think once you have more than $1,000 or so in crypto, it's time to get a hardware wallet for it. They have different prices for them, so go with what works for you. With a hardware wallet, your recovery phrase and private key are generated directly on the device and they never leave it. This is far more secure than any hot wallet because hot wallets show your recovery phrase on screen where it can be seen by malicious hackers or by people standing behind you. Never be too safe. Since recovery phrases give you complete access to your funds, they should only be shown on a hardware wallet and never on any device that has connected to the internet or will connect to the internet. My personal choice is the Ledger Nano X because it works great, it has Bluetooth, and Ledger wallets have a proven track record. But you can also check out Trezor or Cold Card wallets, which also have excellent reputations. There are other hardware wallets, but I prefer the ones that have a proven track record of several years. I also want to mention that the Ledger company had a data breach in June of 2020 where attackers accessed customer names, email addresses, phone numbers, and home addresses. To be clear, this didn't affect the security of Ledger wallets at all, but since the attack, there have been ongoing phishing attempts for people whose data was released. This ties back into email security, and it's why it's good to have dedicated email addresses for different things. It's also a good reason to use a fake name or deliver to a PO box when ordering a hardware wallet. Always order directly from the manufacturer's website and never from third-party sites like Amazon, and certainly don't ever buy a used one. Next, let's discuss two-factor authentication. There are some things to understand here. First, any two-factor authentication is better than nothing. Second, SMS verification is only slightly better than nothing. Third, software-based 2FA is good. And fourth, hardware-based 2FA is best. Let's break it down. I avoid SMS verification, but if you must use it, I recommend calling your phone service and ask to speak to the fraud team. You don't need to share any specifics, just say that you are a likely target for fraud and you need to lock your account. This way, to make any changes to your account, you'll have to do it in person. This helps, but still there are no guarantees that they're actually going to do it right. Now, when it comes to authenticator apps, these are much more secure than SMS, but not nearly as secure as hardware authenticators for the same reason hardware wallets are more secure than hot wallets. The risk here is that in order to set them up for each account, you have to display a QR code on your device. If that device is already compromised, and if it's your computer, it probably is, like most devices are, an attacker could have full access to the authentication of that account. Now, good choices here are Google Authenticator, LastPass Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, Authy, and Duo Security. You also need to be mindful about not losing that QR code and the secret code that comes with it. So I recommend saving your secret code in your password manager, then take an old digital camera or phone that will never be connected to Wi-Fi and take a picture of that QR code. Just make sure to never, ever upload these photos to the cloud or store them on your computer, as anyone who has these images has the same access that you do. Last are hardware-based authentication, and before you skip ahead, hear me out. I know hardware wallets like Ledger are tedious to use, and the idea of doing that for every login sounds awful, but you don't have to use it every time you log in. It's mainly when you do a hard logout or when you set up a new device. I use the Google Titan for my accounts, and this one has USB-C and NFC, so it's super convenient for both Android and iOS, and it gives the same peace of mind as a hardware wallet. It's only $35. although I would buy 2 of them so you have a backup. I definitely recommend it, and I've also heard good things about Yubico's YubiKey. Oh, and I do also recommend turning on advanced protection for your Google account. This requires a hardware security key like this Google Titan in order to log into a new device. Just make sure to buy 2 of them, because if you lose one and you can't access your account, it's going to take you several days of identity verification to get back in. I also recommend having a hardware security key for your password manager. Protecting your online activity is another very important piece of your personal security. So let's look at VPNs. They aren't the ultimate solution they're often made out to be, but they are useful. The most important use of a VPN is to hide your DNS requests. That way, your internet service provider or school or other people on your network can't see the websites you visit. I recommend never connecting to public Wi-Fi, especially at airports, but if you must, please use a VPN and be extra careful. Keep in mind, VPNs are only one tool in the list, and they need to be paired with the other security practices I've mentioned. Many VPNs advertise how they encrypt your traffic, which is nice, but like 90% of internet traffic is already encrypted through HTTPS. If you go to an HTTPS site and it has the padlock next to the address bar, it's already encrypted, so this is a bit redundant. People also say VPNs protect you from malware and viruses, but that's not an inherent feature of VPNs, although it is an added feature that's often offered by VPN services. As far as VPNs go, I've tried several of them, researched several of them that I haven't used, and I've come up with 3 that I can recommend the most highly. These are Proton VPN, Mullvad VPN, and Private Internet Access. All 3 are open source, they can be used anonymously, and you can pay with crypto. I have a Proton Mail Visionary plan that goes with my Proton VPN subscription, and it's excellent. I love it. It's $24 a month, and I can have up to 50 email aliases, all the other email features I could want, and Proton VPN is great. I can connect to 10 devices at a time, and it's blazingly fast. My internet with the VPN off is between 900 and 1000 megabits per second, and with Proton VPN, I still get 400 download and 300 upload. This is their fastest and most expensive plan, but they do have a cheaper plan at $4 a month and a free plan that isn't as fast, but it still doesn't log your data, unlike other free VPNs. Be especially careful about free VPNs because they're often selling your data. Next is Mullvad VPN, and although I personally haven't used it, it was recommended to me by a security expert, and it's the one that Firefox uses for their VPN service. Firefox is excellent when it comes to internet privacy, and I take their opinions very seriously. Mullvad has a flat rate of €5 per month for 5 devices. That is the same price since they started in 2009. Neither Proton VPN nor Mullvad offer any affiliate programs or paid reviews, which is why they are often missing from top VPN videos and articles. As far as I'm concerned, these are the top 2 choices. I do also want to mention Private Internet Access though, as I've used it for a few years and it has the cheapest paid plan at just over $2 a month if you buy 3 years at a time. PIA has been great since I've had it. I've always paid in Bitcoin and I've had very few issues. It's not as fast as Proton VPN, but I think that that's partly because they don't have any servers in my state. There are links to all 3 VPNs in the description. None of them are affiliate links, so just choose which one you think is best for you. Now, I have to give you huge props for getting through this super dense guide. If you follow the steps in this video, using common sense, backing up your data, keeping software up to date, avoiding phishing attempts, being skeptical, responding to unexpected DMs with you, having antivirus and anti-malware, adding passwords to messaging apps, segregating your emails, using a password manager, using a hardware wallet for crypto and hardware-based 2-factor authentication, and a VPN to top it off, you will be more secure than like 99.9% of people out there. Once you get over that initial setup and learning curve, you'll have far more peace of mind and all this will seem far less daunting. If you've gotten this far, it shows me that you're serious about your security, and I encourage you to watch out for that announcement for the upcoming DeFi course. I'll cover more than just security. We'll cover the basics of DeFi, how to set up and use MetaMask on Ethereum testnet, and so much more. It's going to be so good. Plus, you'll get access to many other courses, including my intermediate DeFi course that will be released later. Anyway, watch out for those, stay safe out there, and drop any questions you have in the comments below or in our Discord. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like to please the YouTube algorithm gods, share it with the people in your life who use password as their password, and thanks so much for watching, and keep exploring.